Hi, welcome to our roundtable. The people at our roundtable today take risks on purpose because that's how they earn their living, and we are going to spend the next 90 minutes or so sitting around having lunch with daredevils, all of whom are afraid to be on television, by the way. Dorothy Dietrich is an escape artist, a professional magician. She has caught a bullet in a very dangerous trick, which I can't believe that she actually did it, but we'll find out the true story behind that. She goes into milk cartons sealed with water inside, hangs by burning ropes in a straitjacket, basically takes a lot of risks. These are interesting people. We're going to get the inside secret on what it's like to take big risks and earn a living today on Midday, so stay with us. Okay, let's have Dorothy Dietrich explain what kind of risk she's taking here and what's supposed to be happening. Go ahead, Dorothy.
Right now, I am hoisted up by my feet. I'm in the straitjacket, and I'm hoisted up, and the rope that I'm attached to, if you can see it, is on fire. Now, I have about 3 minutes to get out of there, and it was very windy. You can see how the fire... That's Mom.
Good. Oh,
I was very hesitant about having her in the audience because I figured she may have heart failure if she sees this in person, especially with the bullet catch. And you can see I'm working very, very diligently here.
Okay.
Now the things floating down was dollar bills that I had thrown down to the kids in the audience. And the reason for that is the first magic show that I had ever seen, I was so impressed with the magician, and my parents took me backstage to say hello to the magician, and he had given me $1 to go buy my first magic trick.
Oh, wow.
And look where it got me.
Yeah. Now, Rob, excuse me, Alan, you wanted to say something here.
Yeah, first, before, I wanted to preface that this particular stunt that she just did, I would call her a stunt lady, a stunt person, for sure. And that particular trick, I know that if she's hanging upside down long enough, she will black out.
Yes. And
I've seen people black out and fail at this trick. So I hand her all the cards right now for doing that.
You know, I know you're an escape artist, but the #1 label for you would be you're a magician, right? How risky is being a magician?
Being a magician is not generally dangerous, but the escapes are absolutely dangerous. The one thing that I always remember is that they are dangerous, and how I get through them is that I have figured out everything that could possibly go wrong and what am I going to do about it when it does. Because you do panic. You do every once in a while, if you're doing something that's very, very dangerous and
like
something goes
what,
wrong.
for example? When have you been in a situation when you have actually panicked?
I went to California to do a home box office special called The World's Greatest Escapes. And this was in November. Well, it was like 60 degrees. And the wind chill factor was like, was very cold.
60 degrees?
60 degrees. Right. But it was very, very cold. And when I did an escape off of a parachute jump where my feet were attached to a rope and hoisted up.
How high were you hoisted?
150 feet in the air.
Upside down? Upside
down from a parachute jump at the Knott's Berry Farm. And up that high,
that's scary.
Yeah, well, that high up, it was very cold.
Did they pull you up slowly, like you go up like this, or did they just tie you at the top and push you off?
No. It went up slowly. It was the parachute ride, which goes up to that height, and then it floats down.
You went upside down, very, very, very slowly. And what were you supposed to do up there?
I had to escape from the straitjacket before the rope burned through. And what happened was my hands froze because it was so cold. And if you can't feel what you're doing, it's dangerous because there's no way to get out if you can't manipulate your fingers. I ended up actually scooping the buckles with my whole hand. But I knew that can happen because
there's no trick involved in getting out of a straitjacket. This practice and technique, right?
It's a specific technique.
So the actual thing of being an escape artist involves intense training. Like, for example, how long can you hold your breath?
That I'm working on because that's funny because I have a choke phobia. And a lot of the things I do involves things like drowning or, where I have to hold my breath.
Like what, for example? You get shoved into a giant container of water, and then the top is sealed, and you're in chains and so forth?
And I have to escape within 3 minutes. I have to escape, and I can hold my breath for 2.5 minutes right now. So
they say that Houdini was able to hold his breath for a very long time, that a lot of his ability came from his great physical skills.
He was very physically fit, And in order to do escapes, I would guess in any of the things that these people do, you do have to be physically fit and keep in shape.
All right, we're watching Dorothy Dietrich. This is a famous and a dangerous trick called the bullet catch. I want to know if it's a trick or what. Dorothy, will you watch the monitor and tell us what's happening here?
Right now, this is in Pittsburgh at the International Brotherhood of Magicians Convention. And I had done there a trick that Houdini would not do. He was planning on doing it, and a very good friend of his, Harry Keller, who was a famous magician.
Wait, what's happening?
Actually, what's happening is the marksman had fired the first, he had chosen 2 bullets, any 2, which were brought by the committee that hired me. They brought the rifle, they brought the bullets, and they hired a marksman. And the first shot went through a pane of glass into the back wall.
And then missed?
No, and then the second one I stood in front of as the target.
Gee, we dumped out of that tape at a pretty inopportune time. What happened? It was just as the gun was going off.
He shot the gun. It went, the bullet went through a pane of glass and then into my mouth, which was a special metal cup that I've devised to catch the bullet, because I don't believe that anyone can actually catch a bullet in their teeth without
No, neither do I. Does anybody here believe that somebody could catch a bullet in his or her teeth? No. Okay, we all agree that nobody can catch a bullet in their teeth. Now, I'm not even so certain you could do it in your mouth. But the premise of the trick is the bullet is shot through a pane of glass. That proves that it's a bullet, goes through, comes out the other side, and goes into your mouth.
Right.
Into what?
Into a special metal cup that I had
devised. A bulletproof coffee cup? And what? What kind of cup is it?
Well, I have some secrets that I won't tell. The cup is a very special metal alloy, and it is not able to be. You feel the pressure, of course. You know, but
why wouldn't your teeth get shattered and broken or something like this?
Because you have to brace yourself and get yourself ready for such a.
Well, you know, the thing, I'd be curious your reaction to this. When we were talking, you know, at our meeting that you were going to be on talking about this, and I read that there have been magicians killed doing this
Yes.
particular stunt.